Episode 202 of the Followtonians, pre-derby recording and stuff. It's Eric here in Overland Park, Kansas. Ped slumdogging it with me here from Old Swan, Liverpool. The
I'm surprised
Mr.
I'm surprised you noticed. Or could remember.
Mr. Noticed what?
Could remember where I actually lived.
Well, somewhere. I mean, you probably are about to move house now that you're some big shot.
No.
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 No, not so much.
Not quite there yet.
Okay. How you been? Doing all right? Keeping busy?
I'm keeping busy, Eric.
Keeping busy. You're not bored too much? I mean, we're not doing a podcast anymore, so I was afraid that you might be bored.
Are we not doing a podcast anymore?
No, I think we are doing a podcast right now.
Oh, okay.
But there's people on Twitter that don't think that we're doing a podcast anymore.
That would sadden me if we weren't doing a podcast anymore.
It's not as regular, but you know.
And that actually isn't my fault to those people out there. That's actually it's not Eric's fault either. It's just not my fault.
It's just life. Ped's always available, and I am no longer ever available. Just life evolves and changes, and there's stuff and things, and football still continues, and it doesn't care about my availability. So
you said
or time zones or anything.
No.
Let's
get on getting on.
I'm trying to set this up and be very slow at the beginning because that kind of seems to be how Everton is playing lately. Is just come out a little bit lackadaisical, maybe get a couple of shots on goal, not really happen anything, and then concede and go behind.
Was that last season?
Yes, it is. But there is a difference, Ped, because Roberto has a plan B, or just we have enough money to pay off referees that don't know what offsides or handballs are or whatever. But it is nice actually seeing some fight in the squad, some grit, being able to turn it on before the 93rd minute, actually feel like, it's time to put in an effort around the 60th minute, and that way you have 30 minutes to actually mount a comeback and take the lead and win and advance in a cup or secure all 3 points on the road to a very, very not great Tony Pulis side.
There's belief, isn't there, in the team? I think.
Yeah.
They're all believing that we can win games now, which is interesting. It's a new thing. It's we can go behind in games and we can come back and it doesn't. It's this idea that you can actually change how you play during a game, which it's unique. That's actually quite a unique thing. But most good teams who win things have that ability
to shift gears. To steer in a different direction.
To not have to play the whole game playing way, to actually be able to stop a game and say, what we're doing is wrong. Let's change what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's change what we're doing. Sometimes it happens purely by accident or
early
or a circumstance changing that you didn't actually affect, like you just said, like an injury, or just like on the case of Monday night, where it was a case of scoring so quickly after they had scored, being 2-0 down and having nothing else you can actually do but change the way you're playing, because you everything or you set up to do has gone out the window because you are already 2-0 down. So
there were a couple of things that I saw recently that I haven't seen out of Everton in a while. One is the cross, this thing called a cross, and the second is another thing that I've seen called a diagonal run. They're these novel, amazing concepts that sometimes, even when put together, really screw up the defense of the other team. It's kind of amazing, Ped.
It's yeah, and this is something we were talking about basically all of last season. This the idea that you can play a long ball and you can change the game by doing the fundamentals right, being pragmatic. Sometimes it works. It's quite effective. Throwing a ball in a box, a really quality cross, is as good as 12 passes in a row. Sometimes a really good cross can be at the end of 12 passes in a row.
Yep.
You just don't always see the 12 passes. You just see the the end result. But
sure. That's
something that evolves. I mean, I remember Roberto Martinez when he first came in. I remember him saying, he said, "Oh, I don't want to win games by throwing crosses in and a ball hitting someone's backside and just going into the net. That's luck. That's a freak goal. I want to do things so that we get to the point where we're always perfect." And I think what he's had to do is he's had to merge those things and not see. This is the thing. Football, throwing a cross in and getting a really good header on the ball is. It's not easy. It's not. Otherwise, football would be very, very simple, and you do that all the time.
Right.
If you've got a really good cross of the ball and you've got someone in the box who can win headers, as we've seen Ron do this year, and as we've seen with Deulofeu's crosses,
yeah.
It can be really, really effective. So why not use it more often?
I think one reason why Deulofeu's crosses in this match against West Brom in particular were so effective is that he's kind of started to get a reputation for putting his head down, doing lots of step overs, and trying to take people off the dribble and beat people with his feet. And so whenever he went to do that in this game, he kind of got defenders on their heels a bit, and whenever he kind of just checks it up and puts the cross in, it was not so much expected either by the people that were marking him closely or those that were marking anybody making a run in the box. So hopefully he can continue to either keep doing that or just keep changing it up and picking his times whenever he does decide to take people off of the dribble. Or
that's what good players do, though. That's what good players do, though. They change it up. They don't.
Absolutely.
They don't let in his first season he all the time he would run to the byline and he would make it very, very easy for really good defenders to just take him down the line and keep him down the line.
Not even good defenders.
Well, practical defenders, just defenders who knew what they were doing, and the amount of times that happened, and he either went out for a goal kick or he was pushed so far that he didn't really have the power to get it into the box. Or sometimes you'd see him go onto his left, but he wasn't as good on his left. So he's learned that. He's learned himself that there are times when you just need to take the ball. You get that yard of space rather than taking a player on and throw it in a box, throw it in the box and see what happens. Sometimes that's what you've got to do at times. And once we went 2-0 down.
Oh yeah, it was the return of the star jump pad.
I'm not going to put too much blame there, but once we went 2-0 down, it was a case of changing things up a little bit. But Deulofeu had been throwing crosses into the box all game that really no one was getting on the end of it. It was just that when we went 2-0 down, we needed to get more players in the box. Evidence of that on the first goal when you've got Naismith in there making a run, taking a defender away from Rom and leaving Rom one-on-one with the centre back. That's sometimes that's all that you need to do, is have intelligent runs that create space for other players and have good deliveries into the box. And we did find ourselves 2-0 down, both very, very poor goals. The first goal, obviously, Funes Mori running out into no man's land. But there was a lot of mistakes with that goal. It wasn't just him. Barry makes a mistake. Jagielka doesn't track a run, or certainly doesn't track into the space. Galloway should have offered. Could Tim Howard have done better? Browning should he have tracked the run? A lot of players were culpable there. It was just a really, really poor goal, and the second goal was just terrible marking from a corner. And it was one of those at that point where you're thinking, oh God, here we go again. 2-0 down against a Pulis team, where you think there's no way these are just going to shut up. These are just going to shut up shop, and there's no way we're going to get back on that. Derby week as well. Suddenly, all the emphasis goes off. The way Liverpool are, and suddenly goes, well, Everton have lost the last game and they drew the one before that, and the pressure's suddenly on us then. But once we got that goal, once we got that first goal,
that instant answer was very much needed.
It was like and it was like what happened, against Reading, where once we got that goal, I mean, we were pressing for that goal against Reading. But pressing and scoring are two different things. But once we scored that goal, there is a mentality in this team with all the young players, Deulofeu, Ross Barkley, players like that, Romelu Lukaku, who are so
Barkley had chances.
But they don't really have any fear because they're so young. And when it's like 1-1 or they've got a sniff of the chance, they start piling on then. And Roberto Martinez wants that. He likes the players taking a chance. He thinks he's got a good enough defensive unit, a good enough,
even with half second string players.
Well, yeah, but that's the confidence he gives them. You have to look at players like Brendan Galloway. He makes a last ditch tackle to stop it from going 3-1 on Monday night, and then 15 seconds later he's bombing up the other end of the pitch and trying to get onto things. You've seen it in the last minute when we're 3-2 up and we got that 4-1 break. It was Funes Mori who was actually running past Deulofeu. I mean, as stupid as that is, we've got a centre back who's trying to push up and trying to grab a goal.
Jax was out on the left with the ball late.
It's there's a feel
leading the counter attack.
Yeah, there is a fearlessness to this team. It's stupid.
As long as it doesn't go into the stupid factor.
Well, it is stupid at times.
Right. It's got to be calculated fearlessness, maybe. I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. There's definitely a feeding kind of frenzy once that first one goes in of, okay, who's next? And maybe it started with the hat trick from Naismith against Chelsea. Just this idea that once we get one, we're going to get another. And then at that point, it's up to the defense to stop us from getting a third. We've scored quite a few goals this year. I think we're 11-4 and 7 against, something like that. So the goals are going in, which is nice.
But I still don't think the goals still worry me though. I still don't think we score enough goals from different places. I do worry about goals in the team. I mean, don't forget we've had 0-0s against Swansea, we've had 0-0s against Tottenham.
Yeah.
I still worry about where the goals come from. I think we can score goals. It worries me that we don't share them out enough. But with players like Deulofeu and I think what we've got at the moment, we've got a good balance, and that's really important. I think the balance was out on Monday because of the changes. John Stones brings a massive. It's mad. It's crazy that centre back can bring so much balance to a team, because he allows the midfield in front of him to play further forward, because they don't have to come back and get the ball off the centre backs. You know, with Deulofeu on one side, you've got a player behind him at the moment in Browning that is just going to defend. It's a little bit on the other side as well. You've got Galloway, who's an out-and-out defender, but he's starting to get further forward. Naismith, who will work hard for him. There is a balance about the team at the moment, and that makes calculated risk a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier because a lot of people know what their jobs are and know that people will cover them. So it's a strange one this season. There is a lot more of a pragmatistic way that we're playing things, and that's shown by the 0-0 at Tottenham. I think that game massively showed Roberto Martinez saying that he is willing to just, on occasions, batten down the hatches and take a point, take a clean sheet, and build from that. So, you know, it's interesting because, again, you know, Romelu Lukaku at times looks lifeless and disinterested, and then, you know, you start getting players around them and pushing them further up the pitch, because you can take those risks, and he's getting a couple of goals and an assist.
Yep. Really liked the second goal. Rom holding up the ball, turning his marker, and getting into the middle of the box right there, right at the top, and then a really nice run by Kone diagonal, getting in behind the defense. Yeah, it's close to being offsides. It's not called. I've seen it called. I don't know if it is offsides. Not. It's like such, a whisker either way, but great run, very well slotted ball by Rom to Kone running through, and just coolly finishes. Nothing special, but
it's a really good finish because you know, he puts it in the corner, he puts it where it's supposed to be. He is a good finisher when he gets those chances. Not that he gets those chances very often, but Kone is a player I've been talking about on my
all your
other
other
platforms,
games,
my other platforms, Toffee TV, the Blue Room, yes, and he was someone we were talking about, and saying, you know, that we wanted to see him get dropped, but it wasn't like we were having a go at him and saying, you know, we want him to be dropped because he's been terrible. We, you know, my thinking was that right midfield is a place that we have lots and lots of cover. You know, Aaron Lennon, you know, Deulofeu, even McGeady, if you are that way declined in the, you know, and you know, Morales as well once he comes back from suspension. We've got cover. What we don't have cover is centre forwards. We have Lukaku. We have Naismith, who's a sort of centre forward, but not really a centre forward.
Right.
And the only other one is Kone. Now, if he wastes his time playing 60, 70 minutes on the right wing, not really offering anything, not because he doesn't really offer anything. He doesn't really offer a threat as such. He offers just a foil. Now, he's a player you can bring off the bench for the last 30 minutes and do things like he did against West Brom. He can change games up, whether that be as a direct replacement for Romelu Lukaku because he's tired or it's just not his day, like in the Swansea game, or you can do what we did on Monday, where you bring him on and you play him up front with him, or you play him whichever way you want. But it's an option. Sometimes it's not about putting, you know, all your players on the pitch at once. Sometimes you've got to hold a little bit back.
Sure.
You know, and that's what I think is really good about Kone. He can do that. He's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know, that's definitely a role that he needs to do because there's no other centre forwards on the bench.
If he scores and gets assists, he's anybody's cup of tea, I would imagine.
Of course, you know, that's another positive thing. The other substitutions were really positive as well. Darren Gibson coming on, you know, he got hold of the ball. He used it well. He allowed other players to get forward. A little bit like Gareth Barry's substitution against Reading was, where a lot of people 1-0 down half time, not playing too well, brings Gareth Barry on. A lot of people bemoaning the fact that we're bringing on a centre back for a centre midfielder for a centre forward. But what he did is allowed, he settled in front of that back four and just allowed everyone else to go forward and get those goals. And Gibson come on, and he got the ball, he got hold of the ball and started using it well, started to spread, keeping the ball, helping the team keep the ball, and that was another really effective substitution as well.
Yeah,
so
very important at that point of the match.
Yeah, so all those little things really helped us get the win on Monday night.
Yep, third goal. Any controversy for you as far as the ball hitting Lukaku in the hand?
No, none.
He knew nothing about it.
No, it bounced up and it just hit him.
Yeah, again, that's another moment where you've seen it called and given as a handball, and maybe we were lucky, maybe we made our own luck, but at that point, 3-2. The traveling Evertonians were pretty happy at that point.
Yeah, you've just said it yourself. You make your own luck, and it was only ever going to be, well, there should have only ever been one winner at that point. I mean,
right.
we did get a little bit lucky later on when Ricky Lambert had a great opportunity, and really, if he'd hit the target, probably would have scored. But
oh yeah,
he puts it wide and
streamed it wide. Yep.
We've gone and took the 3 points, and
yep. And we had breakaways where we should have, picked the pass sooner or different, or just, not fallen over ourselves.
Listen, it wasn't a vintage performance. It wasn't even a good performance. I mean, the first half was absolutely dreadful from both sides. It was,
sure.
The neutral would have turned off. It was horrendous, and we started the second half horrendous, and we didn't really kick on till whenever our first goal was, 55, 60 minutes,
something
whatever
like
it was,
that,
yeah. And from then on, we did okay, but we were pretty poor, and we've come away with the 3 points after turning around the 2-goal deficit. So we've done okay there, to be fair. And
yep.
Do you know what? Right? I mean, it's something that occurred to me the other day. It's you can sit here and you can go, oh yeah, we won, and then you can pick out all the negative parts and go, but you know what? We've got to make sure we don't do this anymore, and we've got to make sure we don't do that. And I've seen this in the game, and that worries me for the next game. But you don't have to think like that, do you? You just look at it and you go, we were poor, we won.
Mm-hmm.
The players should walk away and go, you know what? Whatever we did wrong, try not to do again. Funes Mori, he looked a little bit dodgy at times. Let's try and fix that. Let's work around that problem. Not sit there and go, we won 3-2, but that Funes Mori was terrible. I'm really worried about him for the next game. You just sit there and go, well, that's his first Premier League start. He'll learn from that. He's not John Stones' replacement.
No.
What worked and what didn't work? What worked was when he just defended and did nothing else. That worked. So you have to say that's what you do for the time being. You just defend. You just try and get yourself in these key positions. And that's it, and that's what you have to do all around the pitch. You have to look out, and that's what the manager will be doing. They'll study the videos and go, listen, this is why this didn't work, and this is why it did work, and that's it. So it's we don't need to beat ourselves up about not playing well and winning. That's what good teams do, and they come away with the belief that that they can do that again. I mean, I don't want to do that all the time. I don't want to play badly and win games, but if you go behind in games, we went behind against Barnsley, we went behind obviously against Reading. We were behind West Brom, and we were behind against Watford twice. If you go that far back, but the main thing is that
we picked up quite a few points from losing positions, Ped.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than last year.
Which tells you that there's a belief in the team. There is some
grit, hunger. Some fight,
and also, I think this is Moyes' teams had this. It's a calmness when you go a goal behind or even 2 goals behind, and as a fan, you sit there and if you're 2-0 behind, you just
most dangerous score in football.
Well, you know what? It actually can be because, as we said before, where if you go 2-0 behind, you throw everything at a team, and momentum's a really big thing. Cause that's what we
Yeah, I
got
mean, how
by
much did they
scoring
switch
quicker.
off whenever they scored the second?
Well, that's it. But what it shows is it shows a team that there's a patience about it. There's a patience about the team that it's not all about throwing everything at the opposition when you go behind, because what can happen then is you throw everything at them, and the team scores a goal because you've just thrown everything at them.
On the counter, yeah.
Whereas you might have a really good game plan. And let's be honest, man has said this a lot last season. He was like, he'd say we had the game plan set up and something stupid, like a referee's decision, totally ruined it. Well, that's football. But if you have a game plan, just because the other team score, doesn't mean you should throw that game plan out the window. So I think Europe was a big thing for this last season. Most of the European games, we had a way of playing. We stuck to it. And no matter what, we did really well. I mean, you think about Young Boys away. We started the game well. We went a goal behind. We had everything going against us that night. We were playing on a plastic pitch. We were playing. We're playing at a top team. We're playing away. We went a goal behind, and we just stuck at it. We kept playing, and we ended up winning 4-1. No one panicked. No one had a problem, and that seemed to be the way. That seemed to be the way in Europe, except for the Kiev game, where we just threw everything out the window, and we seem to have that this season where it is just a case of don't panic even if you go behind. We know how good we are. We know how well we can play, and I think the players that's really helped this season is players like Ross Barkley, who last season tried to do too much, tried to take too much on, tried to play a game that wasn't necessarily his, that didn't play into his strengths. This season, he's just getting the ball and doing what he needs to do, and there's no panic. There's no, he's not worrying. He's not in the 35th minute. If you're a goal behind, he's not like thinking, well, we better score in the next 5 minutes. He's letting it come. The Man United team, great Man United teams of 19. I go back to when they won the Champions League in 1999. The amount of games the amount of times they went into like the last minute 1-0 behind and still won the game was like mad. I mean, it wasn't just that Champions League final. It was lots of games like that. And I'm not saying like we're anywhere near them. I'm just saying that they didn't. You keep your composure. You don't need to just rip up the rule book because you go a goal behind. You keep playing and playing and playing the way you think's going to play. And I think last season that would have irritated us because the way we were playing didn't really help. But this season, the way we're playing, we're mixing it up. We are making like 7-8 passes. I think I'm not sure if it was the second goal or the third goal. There was like 12 goals in the build-up.
12 passes,
It did come from the goalkeeper. It come from Jags. It was built up. It got to, and then we scored from it. But it was like slow, fast. And that's what we've changed this season, and it seems to be really working. And I think the fact that we've had to play so many tough games early on the season has really helped us. But what's helped us, West Brom were the first team since Watford, for me, that have not attacked us. They have not attacked us. They have tried to stifle us, and we've managed to get over that as well, because that was the big problem last season, wasn't it? Where a lot of teams were setting up for us to counter-attack us or let us pass ourselves to death.
Right.
I think that was a big test on Monday, and we got over it. Just about.
That's where the dynamic play, the changing up the speeds, the crosses, the diagonal runs, and are something that we didn't see much of last year. So through 7 matches, we're doing okay, Ped. Especially with the first 10 matches of the season, the schedule looking really, really tough. To be sitting where we're at after 7 of those first 10, pretty much any Evertonian would be content with that start.
Yeah, you can't not be, because yes, we have. I think we should have got a win against Swansea.
Watford, Swansea.
Watford. I mean, I think on paper we should have beat them, but on the day we didn't play well, and
sure.
First game of the season can always be a bit weird, and but Swansea, I think we should have beaten them.
Tottenham probably.
I think that was
good, good draw in our favor.
Yeah, I think that was a fair result in terms of what happened. I think really the only one I'm disappointed about in hindsight is the Man City game. I'm a bit disappointed we never. I mean, this is only in hindsight, but I'm a bit disappointed that we never had more of a go at them on the day, because the way the Premier League is sort of starting to pan out is no one's got any fear of anyone, so everyone's just going to win games now, and it's causing some.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chelsea, what they did against Arsenal, it's crazy.
But it's it's a lot of everyone's gearing up to win games, and no one's really scared of anyone.
You just can't predict some of these results, Ped.
Yeah, it's like the MLS. There's no one seems to be scared of anyone. Okay, when we played City, they had Company and Hart was playing. It was different for when they lost last week to Spurs and David Silva as well. But I just maybe on the day we should have gone out and had a little bit more of a go at them possibly. But that's hindsight. We've had a great start. We've had a really, really good start. We've only lost one game. We could have a couple more points in the bag, but then again, we could have lost could have lost that game to Watford, could have lost that game to Spurs. So
could have been out of the cup. We're still in the cup.
Yeah, we're still in the cup. We've got Norwich at home, and hopefully now this is where we'll go. Right, get through this one, and suddenly you're in the quarterfinals, and it can open up for you. Yep. We've got tough. We've got the next 3 games are
brutal,
tough, but that's only in name only.
Right.
We'll talk about Liverpool now.
Yeah. Well,
they're not good. But let me just say, they're not a good side. Man United are a decent side, and Arsenal are a decent side.
To Chelsea.
But they're not huge, massive teams.
Yep.
That that we all thought they were going to be.
All right. Break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Followtonians. Oh, it's so good to do this show. I've definitely missed it. It's something that it doesn't feel like worth
a chore.
It just doesn't feel normal to not do this. So this is good. Thank you everybody for listening in. Home derby, Everton USA guys are over. And gals, they've got another group that have come over for this match, and
you next year, Eric.
I need to. I got to figure this out. Life is gonna pass me by, and that's
man. You've got to start listening. Cool. You've got to start listening to Ferris Bueller. You've got to start listening to him.
Yep, exactly. Because It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen.
Don't stop now and again and look around. Yeah, life's gonna pass you by.
Right by. Exactly. So, Liverpool coming into Goodison.
Yeah.
Form out the window. You say this every time, whenever you play that. Forms out the window. I don't know what that means because we're.
That's not good for us then, is it?
Exactly.
Because we're the only team in form. They've won one game since the second week the second match in August. They've won one game since then. It is the Aston Villa game, which they won 3-2. They have drawn twice in the Europa League against poor teams. They drew against Carlisle. They beat them on penalties. But it is a Merseyside derby, so therefore, mad things do happen, and I'm not going to sit here and go, Everton, are just going to destroy Liverpool on Sunday, blah blah blah. But you know what?
I might say that.
If we play, you know what? If we play the way we've been playing recently, we'll beat them because
3-1.
I've looked on paper, and I know paper doesn't win games, but I've looked at their side compared to our side, and we've got a better team. We've got a better team. Daniel Sturridge worries me. He's a top class striker. He worries me.
Coutinho?
Coutinho now and again worries me.
Yep.
Sometimes he can be amazing. Sometimes he can flatter to deceive.
We don't have to worry about Henderson.
Well, Scrappy do.
Yeah.
It's just
Milner? Captain Milner.
I like Milner. I've always liked Milner, but he's not.
You said that you would have had him on our squad.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, but I just look at him and I just think there's something definitely wrong with Liverpool at the moment.
More than normal, more than typical.
Yeah, but the manager I don't know if the manager's lost them or what, but they've gone out and done the normal thing. They've spent £8 zillion on players that probably could have bought for £2 zillion and tried to integrate them all into the squad or haven't integrated them on the squad, and it's just not working. That's just what we can't have is it working on Sunday because Derby games are really good for flipping things around. You know what I mean? You have can be poor, then you have a Derby win, and suddenly everything is like, yeah, we won the Derby, we showed our grit, keep that and take that going, keep it going. And that's sort of like
feel that again. It's been a while.
Well, that's what we've got to make sure we don't get sucked into on Sunday. We've got to go out there, not get caught up in the moment too much, and try and play a normal game. Because we all remember the season before last, going to Anfield. We were all pretty much on a high. We were around that top four. So were Liverpool. And we went there and we were, this year we're going to go for it. It's not going to be like Moyes. We're going to have a real go at it. And, Martinez brought Ross Barkley back. He wasn't fit. He brought Jagielka was playing. I don't think he was fit. Alcaraz was playing at the back. John Stones was playing at right back. Rom got injured in the game. We were a mess. We had like 65% of possession, and Liverpool could have won 8-0, and that's not an exaggeration. They beat us 4-0. They missed a penalty. It was such a weird night. But it was a game where I think Roberto Martinez got caught up in all the hype of his team and how he wanted them to play, and not getting sucked into going there and being just going there and trying to get a point or something, because that night really what he should have done is play Tony Hibbert right back and played John Stones at centre back, but he never. And that's what we've got to make sure we don't get sort of caught up in. We don't get caught up in this hysteria. We go there, it's a normal game, look at it on paper, take Liverpool's kits off them, and they're just an average. That as well, yes, they're just an average team. So the pressure's on them, but then that's not always a good thing. If the pressure's on the other team, it's a psychological.
We are good at the counterattack, so it might be.
Well, it's a psychological thing. I think. I think if we can get a goal, get an early goal or take the lead, I think all the pressure suddenly mounts on them again. What we can't do is let them come flying out at us and sort of surprise us with that sort of get into the game, because you could be sitting going, oh, they've been terrible and they're just going to come and they're going to batten down the hatches or whatever. Listen, Liverpool can't defend, so if they try and defend, well, no, but if they try and defend by sitting deep, I think we'll beat them comfortably. So I think they're going to try and fly out the traps and try and hit us early and try and catch us out early, and that's what we've got to be very careful of. But we'll have had nearly a week's rest. They've played on the Thursday night. Yes, there'll be a lot of changes, but they're there for the taking. And if we don't beat them, then we'll just massively be kicking ourselves, because this is the last game before an international break, and we've got Manchester United, we've got Arsenal coming up, and I think they're there for the taking. I really do. I think we're a better team. I think we can beat them 3-1. I think
I'm right there with you.
I'm confident that we can beat them. On the field of play, it's in the heads. But what you got to remember is that their heads are going to be more. For us as fans, psychologically, a derby is just like the worst torment ever.
Sure.
And sometimes that anxiety can seep through, and I think that's what we've got to make sure doesn't happen on Sunday. That anxiety, if there is any anxiety, it doesn't seep through. Because they have got good players, as I said. Sturridge is a good player. Coutinho's a good player. They can hurt you if you let them. I just really hope that Stones is back. I mean, I think that he's absolutely key to the way we play, not just defensively but going forward as well. So
any chance for Coleman?
Well, Roberto Martinez said they both could have been in the squad on Monday night. So maybe he was keeping them back for this game. Maybe he was giving them an extra 6 days to get ready and be ready for this game. Or let's hope so. Anyway, let's hope so, because I think they're there for the taking. I'm really confident that if we play the way we've been playing, we can go out there and beat them, because it's going to be an open game. They're going to come and play football. As I say, they can't defend. They only know one way of playing, and that's attacking. What I would say is they do make a lot of chances. They make a disproportional chances to what they score. So that's where, again, we've got to be quite careful. I mean, as fans, we'll sit here and
look at the stats from Carlisle matches.
The manager will be looking at it and thinking, well, if they're making chances, we need to know where to stop that starting. But they do make a lot of chances, and I think that showed last week against Villa that they probably made as many chances in that game as maybe they did against Manchester United. They just had someone to finish it off. So that's what we've got to be wary of, definitely on Sunday. But we played Chelsea, and Chelsea got a lot of good players, and we stopped them from doing anything. So let's hope it's the same again. And we can get 3 points at this stage of the season, going into a very, very busy back end of October. Then we've got a lot of things to start opening up for us.
It could be fun. This could be the start of just some really entertaining time for Everton. Hopefully, just gotta get past this match.
Well, as I say, I'm not really worrying about it from a point of view of it being a derby. They don't really tend to affect me anymore. Because I've just seen so many bad things.
It's kind of like me and penalty kick shootouts for cup finals.
Yeah, for Kansas. Yeah,
it's just like this is kind of getting boring.
It's good to keep winning them.
Oh yeah, that's why. but I digress.
No, I think definitely we've just got to, as I say, take this. Try and take this like any other game.
Yep.
Just make sure that it's us coming away with 3 points at the end of the game.
Sounds good to me. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, as I've already said, we've got we've got Norwich and that in the cup, and that is a great opportunity for us to get through to the next round. Norwich at home could get us nicely into the quarterfinals, that's how it opens up. One minute you're in the early rounds, and the next minute you're in the quarters, you're in the semi-finals, and you play. You might end up playing. You might end up playing like a team who the team. But you only have to look at the English Champions League teams at the moment to see that they're all struggling. If those teams have got a Champions League game the week after or something, they're going to rotate their squads. And if we're playing our strongest squad, that's a great opportunity. That's a great opportunity for a team like Everton to push through. Your semi-final, obviously you get it's a two-legged affair. You get. I fancy. We just hopefully we get through this.
What's that?
That's the big That's the big opportunity.
Yep, sounds good to me. I like winning.
It's good.
I like advancing in knockout tournaments. It's good. It's good.
It is good. It is good.
It's doing podcasts are also good. So everybody, thank you for tuning in.
Podcasts.
Huh?
Winning podcasts.
Yes. We'll hopefully we'll keep this up. We've done I think 3 shows now, and we've gotten wins after the last couple. So maybe it's good luck that we're doing this right now, Ped. But it is definitely good luck that all you got to listen to us. Come on, you Blues, let's go.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.